Books and Booze, a bookish and wine-induced podcast from two book lovers who have never met. That is the power of the internet. Hello, I'm Jade.
And I'm Chiara.
And today feels really weird because we are not drinking wine for the first time.
No.
This is our first non-alcoholic date together. What do you actually drink? It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, so it was far too early to drink.
Yeah, a little bit too early.
No.
We managed at 11 a.m. once, but 9 a.m. just feels
Would be
wrong.
Yeah, it would be too dangerous.
I just have a cup of tea.
Okay, what tea do you have?
We drink Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire proper strong.
Yummy.
Just nice black tea.
I've got just like it's an organic tea called Pure Skin. And it's really nice because I used to have bad skin and psoriasis and stuff. So I know that I probably don't seem very healthy because I'm always drinking wine, but I do actually have a healthy side where I drink like organic purification kind of stuff. So that's what I'm drinking today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it like herbal or fruity? Or...
Yeah, it's certified organic ingredients: peppermint, spearmint, calendula, echinacea, burdock, and nettle.
Oh, nice.
It's very, very nice, and it just like eliminates all the toxins from the body and just helps you out a little bit when you've been really disgusting and unhealthy like me.
Detox before you retox.
Yep, because I have another surprise date planned with Mark tonight, so there will be more wine involved. I don't know. I keep trying to beg him to take me for sushi, so hopefully it's some sushi tonight.
I like sushi. Yeah.
Me too. All right, so today we are doing the wine tag, which I created on BookTube, like YouTube for books, and it's basically just a list of 10 questions where we talk about a book that we pair with a certain type of wine. I thought it was a pretty creative idea. So,
I like it.
Yeah. So the first question is boxed wine. A book that people will judge you for liking, but you like it anyway.
So what did you say?
I had a really hard time choosing this one, but I ended up going for The Renault Girls by Amy Engel. Have you read it?
I haven't.
Oh,
no.
really?
I actually saw it come up last night, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder if I should read it." And I like jotted it down, but I haven't looked anything into it. So,
her writing is phenomenal, but like the story is super unsettling. And if you were to describe it to anyone, like if I'm describing it to you now, you're gonna be like, "What the hell are you reading that for?" It's just weird. It's really like it's a very taboo topic about kind of incest and stuff. Which, I think that's why I chose it, because I really, really loved this book. It was fascinating, but there is incest in it. So it's about this girl called Lane. She's a young girl whose mother committed suicide and now parentless. She moves to Kansas to live with her mysterious grandparents and her cousin called Allegra. Lane barely knows anything about her family, but her mother once ran away from them and she had vowed never to return. And then the family's super wealthy and they're renowned for their array of beautiful young women in the family. So Lane and Allegra are no exception. But there's a lot of dark and shocking secrets behind the walls of the Renault house. And Lane flees just like her mother once did. But then many years later, Lane, she's a bit of a drifter now. She's lured back to the Renaults after receiving a phone call that her cousin Allegra is missing and she needs to help. So I won't go too into it, otherwise we'll be here all day. But yeah, it's a very, very good book.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but a lot of people can't really stomach it because of, the incest side of things. It's a bit odd.
Yeah, fair enough.
What about you? What did you say?
So I wrote that I don't really care if people judge what I'm reading because I don't judge others for what they're reading. Like, I just am all for, if you're reading, that's good. So I didn't actually have an answer for this one. I kind of cheated.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'd rather encourage people to read rather than having people feel like shame for reading.
Yes, definitely.
So, like, I was going through my list and I was trying to see if there was anything that I'd be like, embarrassed by, but there wasn't really anything.
No, I think that's a good answer, really. We should never be ashamed of whatever we read, as long as we're reading something. That's a great thing to be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next question is Organic Wine, a book that doesn't have any added crap to it and is just written perfectly. What did you say?
So I wrote Robin Sloane's Mr. Penabra's 24-Hour Bookstore. Have you read that one? No. Okay. It's like a book for book lovers. Okay. It's like a love story to books pretty much. But it's finding himself in the time of recession, Clay ends up working in Mr. Penabra's 24-hour bookstore. But after a few days, Clay realizes the store is more curious than its name or gnomic owner might suggest. Customers are few and far between, and they don't buy anything, but rather check out large volumes. Clay develops a program to analyze the customer's behavior and learn secrets that extend beyond the shop's four walls. So, like I said, it's a book for book lovers, and it's just a really fun book to read.
I like books that are all about, bookshops and books. And
yeah, me too.
They're probably the only fluffy books that I like.
There's one that I've seen floating around that I really want to read as well. I think it's called, I saw a picture of it the other night. See if I can bring it up. But it was, have you seen it? It's got a window of a bookshop on it, and it looks really cute. It is called, it's called,
no pressure.
The Lost for Words Bookshop.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
Stephanie Butland. It looks really cute.
Okay.
So, and someone said it's a pretty quick read and you get sucked into it very fast.
We should put a picture of it on Instagram and see if anyone's read it.
Yeah.
All right. I chose a book by Claire McIntosh. So I've read all of her books, but the best one is, in my opinion, I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. Have you read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't.
You haven't read it?
I think I wanted to pick it up when I was pregnant, and then someone was like, don't read it.
Yeah. So I guess when you're pregnant, when I was reading it, my adrenaline was pumping, my nerves were spiked, and the hair was just standing up on my arms. So I probably wouldn't recommend it just for the safety of your fetus. But so it's not like a typical thriller whatsoever. It is a whodunit, but it's so unique because it's not a normal murder mystery. It's like this hit and run, and the chapters alternate between the cops trying to solve the case and then a woman trying to start over in life. And it's just such a heartbreaking and devastating story that just instantly tugged at my heartstrings. It's one of the only books that I actually shed a tear for. And yeah, it was just so unputdownable, and the twist was just mind-blowing. So that had to be my option because I just thought it was perfect. There was nothing that shouldn't have been in that book.
Oh. Did you read that one or did you listen to it on audiobook?
What did I do? I think it was probably audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lately I've just been, because I don't have as much time on my hands, I just head towards my audiobooks. Mark says, well, that's not really reading and it shouldn't count. And I'm like, yes, it does.
Of course it counts. It's still a book.
Exactly. I still know what happened in the bloody story, Mark. All right, so the next question is Glühwein, or as others might know it, is mulled wine.
Mulled wine. That's what I was wondering if that's what it was.
It's delicious.
I had that for the first time the other day.
Did you like it?
I really liked it. Yeah, we'd been going to this German restaurant in our area, and they give you a little, in an espresso cup, a little taster of it. It's really nice.
Which is interesting because you don't normally like red wine.
No, but it's sweet.
Yeah. It's delicious. Yeah. I make my own with orange slices, and then I put cloves into the skin of the orange so that you don't get cloves all over your drink and choke and die. Yeah. And I can't remember what else I put in it at the moment. Some cinnamon sticks. Oh, it's divine. The best thing to have in winter.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. So for this one, the question is a really spicy, wintry read. What did you choose?
I picked Dot Hutchinson's The Butterfly Garden. So I've spoken about it a few times, but and I do have the synopsis. I think it's in episode 3 in Boozy Banter. But basically, it's this creepy man called the gardener, and he kidnaps a bunch of young girls and keeps them as his butterflies in his garden. And I picked this one for this category because it's one that you kind of just want to be rugged up to read because it's so creepy. So it's perfect for winter when you're just kind of hidden under the blankets and The writing is so descriptively fantastic, and it's just spine-chillingly creepy. It's really creepy. You have to read
it. I actually just got it on Audible, so I'm going to have a lot to talk to you about soon. So I chose Lies She Told by Kate Olliman. Have you read that?
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh my God. Probably one of the best books I've ever read in my life. I read it this year at the end of April. And you know when you just find those books where you're just devastated when they end? Like you just didn't want it to stop at all. Like you could just invest your entire life into that story. That was this book for me. Like the whole concept was amazing. So it's like a book within a book. And that's the whole concept of this story. So in Lies She Told, our main character is a writer, so the chapters kind of alternate between her and the main character in the novel that she's busy writing, and you've got to have like your full attention on this book because it can get really confusing to keep up with who is who, because her main character is kind of like her alter ego, and it just felt so real. The whole book was amazing. There was like this spin of parallel universes, and it's probably the closest thing I've found to Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. Yeah, I just could not recommend this book enough. Yeah, I also listened to this one on Audible and highly recommend it. Yeah, it's just like a mind fuck. That's what I love about it. I was just like, what the hell just happened? The next question is Sauvignon Blanc, a really sharp and aggressive read that you couldn't put down.
What'd you write for that one?
I said Don't Believe It by Charlie Donnelly. Have you read that?
No.
I'm kidding.
We are continuing picking ones that the other hasn't read.
I was so worried that we would be doing like ones that we've both actually read this time, but yeah, I'm pretty excited that we've both got different ones. So this is a book about a girl called Grace, and she's been behind bars for 10 years in a foreign country for murdering her boyfriend. She reaches out to this producer of this hugely popular true crime documentary, and she goes to her for help. And as new evidence is brought to light, the real-time show for Grace's case explodes because it becomes a hit TV show. And the whole question is, has Grace been a victim of a shocking miscarriage of justice? And if so, who really murdered her boyfriend? And it was just such an exhilarating read. Like, I never want to get through a book really fast, but with this book, I just couldn't put it down. It was like the definition of unputdownable. Like, I was just like, oh my God, I just need to know what happens.
Yeah.
I loved it. And it has that kind of the true crime documentary element to it that I've just become like unhealthily obsessed with lately.
I've read a book that actually sounds similar to that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It's by it's co-written by Mary Higgins Clark and Alafia Burke.
Okay. I don't think
Yeah, and they do a whole series about this true crime show.
Mm-hmm.
And so behind the scenes, and so the whole reason for them doing it is trying to solve different murders and stuff like that.
Oh. Okay. That sounds pretty good. What did you say for this question?
So I picked Fiona Higgins's Fearless.
I haven't read that one.
Have you read that one? It's actually on your want to read, because I was going through Goodreads.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, Jade wants to read this.
Stalking me.
6 strangers from across the world converge on a tropical island of Bali to attend a course to help them face their fears. Their backgrounds are diverse as their fears. Friendships and romance blossom as the participants are put through challenges which are unusual, confronting, and sometimes hilarious. A week of fun in the sun suddenly transforms into something more serious, however, when the unthinkable happens, a tragic disaster. I stayed up reading this one until about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yep. I could not put it down. Like, it hits this point where you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Did that really just happen? Oh my God. What happened next? And you're just like rushing through pages going, oh. And I'm sitting there going, I need to work in like 2 hours, but I have to finish it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So well written. It's really, really good.
Okay, I've got to get that one then.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, it's more of maybe a domestic thriller. Okay. than like, I don't even know if I would call it like, because there's definitely shock and suspense and twists and turns and stuff like that, but it's not like a murder thriller per se.
I love domestic thrillers too.
Yeah, me too.
They're like very much like B.A. Paris's books, you know, that psychological domestic suspense.
Yeah. I read my first B.A. Paris book earlier this year.
I love it. I've read all of them.
Yeah.
Alrighty, the next question is Pinot Noir, a book you didn't expect much from, but ended up getting blown away by it.
Okay, so I picked Linda Cohen Logman's The Two Family House.
Never heard of
it. I tried to pick ones, again, that were a bit more obscure, but that I really liked. So ones that I don't see all the time on Instagram and stuff like that. But this one is, in a two-family brownstone, two babies are born within minutes of each other, in a blizzard to two women. They're sisters by marriage with an impenetrable bond forged before and during that dramatic night. But as the years progress, small cracks start to appear, and their once deep friendship begins to unravel. Nobody knows why, and no one can stop it. So this was a debut novel, and I thought it was really good. And it's just a complex family drama.
Okay.
About these two women and their children and their lives and how it's all intertwined, and something that happened that night that they just can't get over.
Oh, okay. Sounds right up my street. We're going to have a big list in the show notes this episode.
Yeah, definitely. I'm already jotting them down as I go.
And we're going to have big bank bills to pay. So guys, if you want to support us and our terrible like book binging thing, then we do have Patreon where you can support us. It would be very nice. I do actually want to say, just to break it up for 1 second, I'd like to say a quick thank you to our Patreons. We have Jennifer, who has donated to us, which is very nice. Thank you very much to her. We also have Heidi, who she also wants to buy a shirt and perhaps a mug and a wine glass from us. So she's
very nice.
But yeah, Heidi's actually donated to us too, above her support of wanting to buy our merchandise. So that's lovely. And then we've also got Chiara, and she donated something to us, and my lovely partner, the hairy beast Mark, has donated to us. So I just want to say a big thank you to them, because every time something comes in on my email to say we've got a new Patreon pledge, it makes me cry. So
do a little happy dance.
Yes.
And Mark is also our male model.
Oh yes, he is. He's a very sexy male model too.
In very, very tight-fitting shirts, so maybe we need to get larger shirts for our male fans, right?
But the shirts have now been created. We've got a good bunch of them in my house, kind of taking over the wardrobes now, and they are, what did we say, $22 plus shipping?
Yeah. Plus shipping.
And I'm not wearing one now because I did need to wash eventually. I couldn't wear it all the time, unfortunately. So yeah, they are really comfortable. They're quite long, which is pretty cool, because I could actually wear my singlet with like a pair of stockings or tights or something, which is pretty cool. And they're just really nice and flowy. They're not tight.
Yeah.
It's the perfect kind of thing to lounge around the house in and read or go to the gym in. Yeah. Anyway.
And then when people ask, you can direct them our way.
Yes. So for the Pinot Noir answer, I chose Mine by Susie Fox, and this is an Australian writer. She's incredible. So this book, this is probably one of the best Australian. I think it's actually Chris Hammer and Jane Harper, but I think Mine by Susie Fox is potentially the best Australian thriller book I've ever read. And the premise is like, welcome to every mother's worst nightmare. Sarah wakes up in hospital after having this emergency C-section, and when she's finally reunited with her baby, she realizes straight away, just from looking at it, that it's not hers. But then she is told that she's mentally unstable, and it's kind of justified because her family's mental health history is revealed. But she's determined to say that this is not her baby, and she feels her baby's presence somewhere else in the hospital. So, I mean, you've got 2 children. I think it's instantly chills you to the bone to think that could happen. And it's just such a harrowing book. And from the cover, I was like looking at it and thinking, oh God, like I'm not going to enjoy this. The cover's terrible, but the actual book is brilliant. And the author comes from a medical background, so it was just weighted with knowledge, and it's really well informed. And this is also a debut novel, so very, very, very good book.
Okay. Love good debut novels.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what else this author comes out with, definitely. All right, the next question is Chardonnay, a good summer read that was really zesty.
So for this one, I picked Aussie author as well. All right. Monica McInerney's The Alphabet Sisters. So she's written quite a lot of books, but I picked this one because it's just like a light, like there's drama in it, but it's not like murder, and like this is a good beach read.
Okay.
Sisters Anna, Bet, and Carrie haven't seen or spoken to one another for the past 3 years after having a falling out. Sorry, I need to turn the page. Their grandmother Lola is turning 80 and having a party and has requested that all 3 granddaughters attend. Although Anna, Bet, and Carrie love their grandmother dearly, none are looking forward to this reunion.
Okay.
So, yeah, she's an Aussie author. She's written a whole heap of
books.
Oh,
that's good.
And this is one of the Penguin classics. So the copy I read, you know how there's the orange Penguin classics? Yep. This is the pink Penguin classic. So I don't know what the difference is between the two. I think maybe it was released for Mother's Day or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to double check on that one. But yeah, it's a quick, perfect read for the beach or when you're laying by the pool or when it's warm and you don't want to focus too much because in Australia it's 1,000 degrees in the middle of summer and you're just kind of laying there like, okay, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to concentrate too much or I'll sweat.
Yeah, I can't, I'm an outside person. I love being outdoors. But in Brisbane, which is, known for its humidity, I literally die. I can't go outside. I just want to lie in front of the air conditioner and just not do anything. I can't even turn a page of a book because I'm just too hot to move.
Yeah, it does get really hot here. Sydney's not as humid as Brisbane, I don't think, but we have our moments. I don't mind it. Like, I can go outside pretty much up until it hits maybe 35, 36 degrees, and then I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Might migrate inside. Mitch thinks I'm insane.
But what I do like is, like, Australia rains more in summer, and I love the rain and stuff. Like, last night it was like the first thunderstorm I think we've had in Brisbane since I've been here, so I'm just excited for some rain again. And
yeah, we were hoping, we didn't get much at all. We were hoping for some in Sydney, but I think we got maybe a 5-minute shower.
Yeah,
we really need some rain. Everyone do their rain dances, please, for Australia.
Yes, and if you want to learn any more about the droughts of Australia, you can read Scrublands by Chris Hammer.
Or Dry by Jane
Yes. They are very good at describing what it's really like, more than us who just go, we die.
We die, yep. It's hot and you feel like your skin is going to burst.
Yes, you just melt. Did you have anything else to add about your book? No. Okay, cool. So I chose The Wife Between Us by Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks. Okay. Have you read that?
No.
Oh, okay. So I actually love this book. It's getting very mixed reviews, and
I've seen
that. So it's I think it's more controversial because I'm the kind of reader, I love books with like love triangles and adultery and like that kind of stuff. I don't know what it is, but I really enjoy it. Obviously I don't want that to happen in my own life. That would suck. But reading about it happening to someone else just seems okay. I'm horrible.
Yeah, being a voyeur to it.
Yeah. So
it fills our need for gossip and drama and intrigue.
Yeah, so it's a really saucy book about a husband, a wife, and a mistress. And, well, that's kind of like, it's similar to that. So this book is about Vanessa and Richard and their marriage and before it crumbled. And then it's about, like, Richard's mistress, and it's about obsession and betrayal, manipulation. And it's kind of like a big jigsaw puzzle, and you just kind of have to follow the clues. So this whole book is kind of like a game, and I really liked that because it was really fun and enjoyable. And I think that's kind of what made the whole thing about the mistress easier to stomach, because obviously, you know, if your husband had a mistress, it would be horrible, but you know, they do this in such a fun and exciting way that you can't help but enjoy it. And it's the kind of book that just bends your mind with unreliable characters, and you just question everything. And there was just such a huge twist at the end too. So I was just floored by this book. Loved it. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the writing itself is the best, to be honest. But the story and the funness behind it, I don't even know if funness is a word, but, you know, that part just really just sold the book for me.
Well, that's why it's a good summary.
Yes.
Because sometimes, like, you know, when it's really well written, it can be harder to get through. And in the summer, I think you want just a quick, a book you can binge, kind of. Yeah.
All right, the next question is Rosé, which you love.
My drink of choice.
It's a book that had a little bit of everything in it. What did you choose?
I picked K.A. Tucker's 10 Tiny Breaths.
I can't believe I've not read one of your books yet.
I know, I haven't read any of yours either.
This is amazing.
None. This is a series, but it's after a terrible car accident destroys her life as she knew it, 20-year-old Casey escapes to Florida for a new life with her little sister. So it's got drama, it's got romance, it's got twists, it's got everything you could possibly want. Good. And it's just a fun, addictive, easy read.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to check.
So yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's good. Okay. It's a good. This one's probably the best of the series, but I really liked it. And K.A. Tucker's writing is really good. She's got a new book out. I think it's called The Simple Wild, and the cover of that one looks gorgeous.
Okay.
But
I'll have to look that up. I chose a book. This is I think it's the only non-thriller book that I'm choosing to answer this question. I was recommended this book by April from Getting Hugo with It. She's on YouTube or BookTube, and it's called I Am by Maggie O'Farrell. Okay. It's a non-fiction kind of memoir novel, but like it's about like this author Maggie's 17 brushes with death. So I don't know, it's very powerful. It really helped me. So it's basically just her story of how she almost died 17 times. And so some of them can be extremely scary, you know, like it's got that bit of thriller in it as well as being nonfiction. And it really helped. It's the kind of book that really helped me to understand so much about the ordeals that other people go through, like being pregnant and motherhood and sadness and depression and the weight you feel after having a miscarriage. Like the stories just cut you deep, and they really like, it makes you understand the way that certain people think and act. So it was just a very emotional, reflective and personal story, but it was really beautiful. And so the first chapter just hooks you in from the start because it's really scary, like a thriller thing about this knife and how she pretty much almost got stabbed to death. And then it goes on, and the others aren't quite as heavy as that. Dramatic, but still very personal and sad. And it was done out of chronological order, which is a bit weird, but and I didn't have any connection to this author before, but something about it was just great. So I definitely highly recommend it.
So what was her name? Maggie O'Farrell?
Yeah, Maggie, and then like little, what's it called? Apostrophe. Farrell. Can't think right now. I haven't had wine.
Is she famous in her own right, or like? Because I've never heard of her.
She's written quite a number of books, and she's a British author, mostly of like contemporary fiction. So she's written a book called This Must Be the Place. She's written The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox, The Hand That First Held Mine. And After You'd Gone. So a couple of books, but I don't know if she's
Okay.
incredibly well known, especially to us here in Australia.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I really, really enjoyed that. And just, it's nice for me to break out of my thriller genre and to enjoy a non-fiction book was,
Yeah.
really, really good for me.
And now I don't pick them up enough either, non-fiction books, because they just I have to be in the mood for a non-fiction, I
Yeah,
think. But I like it sounds like it's a collection of
yeah,
essays
yeah, very much so.
more than yeah, and I like that a
Yeah.
lot. The short, easy reads that you can read in between
Hmm.
something.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think especially if you've ever gone through anything tough like a miscarriage and stuff, just the way that it describes it broke my heart to think that that's what people feel and what they go through and all that stuff, and it just made me understand so much about other people and also about myself. It was a very, very, very powerful book, like I said.
Yeah, I've had two.
Miscarriages.
Yep.
Wow. I'm sorry.
One before Alex and one before Benny.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So they're
Kiara.
both rainbow babies. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's life.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how far along were you?
With the first one, we were only about 7 weeks, and then with the one before Benny, I was at my 13-week scan
Gosh.
when we found out. So, not an enjoyable experience. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. Yeah, let's brighten.
Yes. Well, with the next one, we're going to go back to the disturbing world of horror and gore. So Shiraz is my drink of choice, and this is the next question. A full-bodied book that is dark and juicy. So I chose The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. Have you read that?
No.
Okay, so Paul Tremblay is a horror author. He's very well known for his other book, award-winning A Head Full of Ghosts. He's also written Disappearance at Devil's Rock, and he's just he's a very, very good writer. I think probably my favorite horror author. So this book, The Cabin at the End of the World, is about a homosexual couple and their adopted 7-year-old daughter from China called Wen. They're vacationing in an isolated cabin to get some peace and quiet from the world. Wen is outdoors collecting grasshoppers when she meets this man called Leonard, which is immensely creepy to me because that's my brother's name. And he comes across as this really big friendly giant to her, but she starts to feel very strange when he starts to apologize to her and telling her that what's about to happen isn't her fault. So she runs back to the cabin to her dad's, and then she sounds the alarm, and then the cabin becomes under siege by Leonard and the people that are with him, who claim that this apocalypse is coming and that they're on a mission to save the world. And basically one of the family members, that either one of the homosexual dads or their young daughter, needs to willingly sacrifice themselves to save the world. And from that, I'm not the biggest horror book reader. I'm much more like psychological thrillers and stuff. But this book was a lot creepier than I expected it to be. I find often horrors try too hard to be scary, and then I'm just like, oh, come on. But I've read 2 books by this author, and they've both been polar opposites, but they were creepy as fuck, and I think that's great. He's an author that's full of surprises. I love the LGBT element, and I really enjoyed the relationship between the 2 dads. And yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really good. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and I recommend it. What?
Do you read any King? Stephen King?
Yes, and I'm not very well liked for my opinion on Stephen King. I think it was terrible.
Is that the one, the only one you've read?
I've read that one, and then his other one, just a non-fiction called On Writing, because I want to
Writing,
which On Writing was great. I loved it, and I found it very helpful personally as a aspiring author myself, but it was just terrible. Like, he can take 15 pages to describe a bloody windowsill. and I felt like I was reading a book for children. I was just like, what is this? Even though like, and then people are like, but what about like the gang sex thing? What's it called? The orgy thing or something with all the boys, and it's definitely not for children. But I don't know. There's just something about it. I just hated it. Sorry, Stephen King.
So I get told all the time to read Stephen King. So I've read Carrie.
Oh yes.
And I've read Cujo, and they were both okay.
Okay.
But
Carrie is a smaller
book.
book.
Ones are just... Yes, I know, because they're also daunting. Some of
they're
these
so
books.
chunky.
So someone recommended, I think it's called like four seasons, 4 series. And in that one, it's got the book that Stand By Me was based on. You know, the book about the boys on the train track?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe we should give Stephen King a shot.
Yeah, so I've had...
for an episode.
I have had people say to me, because I didn't like it, they were like, well, maybe you should try The Shining.
The Shining,
yeah. Which I would like to give a try at some point. And also Pet Sematary. I'd like to give that one a go too.
And someone said Dolores Claiborne.
Okay.
It's meant to be really good as well.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to give up on him just yet. I don't know. It is like, how many? Like, over 1,500 pages long.
Yeah.
And I just, after I finished finally reading it, I was just like, why did I just read that? It was just...
I could have read 4 other books
in that bloody time. So, your full-bodied, dark and juicy book?
I picked a Karen Slaughter because it wouldn't be a Chiara list without a Karen Slaughter.
Yes.
So I picked one of her standalones, Pretty Girls. Have you read that?
I have, yes.
You have, and you didn't like it, did
Oh,
you?
it's not that I didn't like it. It's probably besides the one I'm busy reading at the moment, I just haven't had a chance to really get to it lately. Pretty Girls was probably, I can't remember now, let me just think. I think I ended up giving it like a 2 goblets of wine on Goodreads.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't overly impressed, but I liked how it was just very slow paced for me, but I did like how grisly and gritty, gory and dark it was, and it's very descriptive, and she is a good writer, but for me there's just something missing in her books for me. Yeah. But anyway, I am excited for pieces of her, which she kindly sent us.
Yeah. She was very nice, actually. She was the first person that reached out and sent something to us. So
that's awesome.
It's very exciting. So, Pretty Girls. More than 20 years ago, Claire and Lydia's teenage sister Julie vanished without a trace. The 2 women have not spoken since, and now their lives couldn't be more different. Claire's a glamorous trophy wife, and Lydia's a single mum who dates an ex-con. Neither has recovered from the horror and heartbreak of their shared loss. A wound that is ripped open when Claire's husband is killed. Could the disappearance of a teenage girl and the murder of a middle-aged man be connected? This one was really creepy. I actually got freaked out at night when I was reading.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah, when you're kind of laying there and then you scooch closer to your partner, or you cuddle your puppy, or
protect me,
hide under the blankets, and it's Karen Slaughter, so enough said for me.
Yeah, I am really hoping that pieces of her newest book, I believe, I really hope that, because I've heard from many people that it's very different. Yeah,
I've heard that too. My sister-in-law has read it already, and she said she really liked it.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
She's read polarizing opinions. Yeah. Some people say that they don't like it, so I'll be interested to see how it goes.
But I am really enjoying Blindsided that I'm currently reading at the moment. I'm just reading it very slowly because I haven't had much time to do much reading. I haven't even read anything for the last 2 days. Yeah, I've been terrible.
Busy writing.
Yeah, I'm writing. Well, I've just finished it and now I just need to edit it. So that's very exciting. But I'm keeping very quiet about that for now. Because if I don't get it, I'm just going to be devastated. But basically, I'm writing a true crime story to hopefully become a full-time crime writer.
Very exciting.
Yes. So, fingers crossed.
Sending good juju.
Thank you. The next question is Merlot, a smooth, easy read with a soft finish. What did you say?
I picked a Taylor Jenkins read
Okay.
book. So this one's called One True Loves. And the author actually describes it as cast away from Helen's Hunt point of view, which is to say that it's about a woman who loses her husband when his helicopter goes missing. She moves on with her life after years of grief and finds a way to love again. Then her husband is found on an island in the Pacific. He's alive, well, and been waiting for her. So this one was really thought-provoking. I actually asked so many people what they would do in that situation because, like, she's moved on, she's got a new fiancé, and then her husband, who, I mean, she clearly loved because she married before, comes back. Yeah. So, like, what would you do in that situation? It's such a hard thing, isn't it?
Well, I guess it depends. It's so hard to say, isn't it? Like, for me, if it was Mark that was my husband, I would leave anyone for him no matter what. But I guess it just depends. I mean, if she's fallen in love with someone else, then...
And obviously time has passed and you're a different person and it's an impossible situation.
Yeah. What would you do?
I don't know. I don't know. Difficult. I'd have to make the decision in the moment, I think.
Yep, I definitely agree. But I just can't ever imagine, like, being with anyone after Mark. You know, if something... I hate saying this because right now he's off on his bloody Harley and I hate that bike so much because I'm so scared of him on his bloody motorbike. But, you know, if something happened to him, I don't know, at this stage where I'm at, I just cannot imagine ever being with someone else. Like, I love Mark so much and being with another guy I just can't imagine it.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, so you had problems answering the first question about boxed wine and being judged for liking a book. I had a problem with this question because none of the books that I read are easy and smooth, and they definitely don't have soft finishes. So I do not have an answer for this question. The next question is Champagne, your favourite book. And I thought that because we have spoken previously on other episodes about our favourite books, that we could just choose another one that's a close second.
Yep.
So what's yours?
Yep. So I picked a classic. So I picked S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders.
Okay.
Did you read that? Did you have to read that for school or anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. My school history is not a good one.
So this novel tells the story of Ponyboy Curtis and his struggles with right and wrong in society, in which he believes that he is an outsider. According to Ponyboy, there's two people in the world, greasers and socias. Soc, short for social, has money and can get away with almost anything and has an attitude larger than a limousine. A greaser always lives on the outside and needs to watch his back. Ponyboy is a greaser and proud, even willing to rumble against a gang of socias for the sake of his fellow greasers until one terrible night. And I just think it's a classic for a reason. It's a simple, original narrative. It's a really quick read, but it's got really important messages in there. They made a movie of it, and like everybody's in it. Tom Cruise is in it when he was really young. Matt Dillon. I think Brad Pitt's in it. So many people are in it.
Okay, I'll have to have a look for it.
It's really short. I think it's only like 180, 200 pages.
That's good. Yeah, I'm planning on, like, my goal before the end of this year is to read at least, I don't want to say 5 because that might be a bit too many, but I'll say like 2 or 3 classics. So, yeah, that one might make my list.
Yeah. Maybe that's something that we should work on for next year. We should read some classics because I know I need to read Pride and Prejudice.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant book. Yeah, I haven't read that many classics at all. And it's terrible, you know, but I just get so excited about all the new books that keep getting released and get all the hype, and I'm just like, I can't miss it. I'm going to get like FOMO.
Yeah. Like me with JT Ellison.
Yes.
Tear me apart.
I need it.
I see it everywhere and I'm like, I need it in my life.
Yeah, I'm very jealous that I don't have a copy yet. Okay, so for this, I chose Little Deaths by Emma Flint. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, this is inspired by the true New York crime case of Alice Crimmins in 1965. A promiscuous woman finds her 2 children missing from their bedroom late at night. Right in the middle of a nasty custody battle, the woman is accused right from the start of having something to do with their disappearances. And I know that might be very scary for you as a mother of 2 children. It is a very scary subject matter, especially because it's true. But Emma Flint's writing is exemplary. It just played with all of my senses in such a subtle and poetic way. The author manipulates you through the whole book, throughout the whole book, like this fascinating tug of war between whether you love or hate the main character. She's she suffers from the typical unreliable, unlikable character traits, such as, she's unreliable, she drinks too much, she can't remember things, blah, blah, blah. But it's done in such a unique way, and I love the multiple points of view throughout this book. So we get inside the head of the distressed mother, but we also have this news reporter who's desperately thirsty for a story. And every character in this book just had so many inconsistencies, so they were all really deceptive and intriguing. It was a super big page turner for me, and I read it in one sitting, which hardly ever happens for me because I always have so much other shit in my life to do, but I love it. Yeah, it's a very, very good book, and yep, I highly recommend it. Yeah, probably probably in the top 5 of the books I've read so far this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, really? It's so good. And, I think because it's a true crime case or it's based off it, the twist at the end, I was just like, holy fucking shit. I just love that because so often, I get the twists. Yeah. So when I find a book that I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah. I love that.
So
I know.
good.
Because I'm the same. I'm like, this is going to happen. And then it happens. And I'm like,
yeah.
I want it to be surprised.
You're like, oh, damn it. I'm too clever for you.
Stop reading so many mysteries.
Yeah, kind of like you just start to learn the way these writers think, and then we become psychopaths because we know what's going to happen. Boozy Banter?
Boozy Banter. Oops.
Lost the notes.
Sorry if we scared anyone there. The Lego apparently scared someone in one of the episodes.
Oh dear.
Very sorry.
I saw that. I was laughing so much. I was like, oh dear.
Boozy Banter.
Yeah. So what have you been enjoying this past little while?
I am 60 pages from the end of You.
Okay.
By Carolyn.
I am so excited to talk to you about this.
This is another one that we're not going to talk about yet, really, because we have something special, I think, planned for this one. But suffice to say that I have been enjoying it so much that last night when I realized there was a sequel, and you were like, yes, it's good. I got into Book Depository right away, saw it was $8 and was like, yep,
done.
Purchase. Because I need to know more.
So the second one, I won't go into too much detail so it doesn't give too much away for you, but a lot of people say that it, when you've got a book like You that was so fantastic, people are often very nervous and skeptical about the sequel because they're like, oh, it's never going to live up. And a lot of people said that it didn't, but I really, really disagree. I think that it was great because I won't go into detail, like I said, but book 2, you get more into Joe's life.
Which would be fascinating.
Yes, and I really enjoyed that.
He's very interesting. Yeah. Very interesting young man.
So we'll talk more about it once you've read them and stuff, but I cannot recommend it to you enough, and I'm so happy that you're going to do it, and I'm interested to see what you think of the sequel because it's got so many different opinions.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, I think I'll probably get it finished today. Because it's, I can't stop reading it. I've put everything else on hold.
Great.
Whoops.
Aren't you also reading Good Me, Bad Me by Ali Land?
I finished.
Oh, yes?
Yes. I finished that and then went straight in. Like, I finished that and then You came in the mail and I went straight into that.
Okay.
So I have finished that. I'm going to work on my review for that one. I really enjoyed that one as well. I think for me it's probably 4.5 stars out of 5 stars.
Goblets of wine.
Just goblets of wine. Just because I just thought Chris Hammer's book was so good that it's not fair. Yep. But now I'm getting really nervous because I have read, I think, 4 amazing books in a row.
I love it when that happens.
And so I need to pick something good next.
Okay.
Because I just need to continue on that trajectory. Otherwise, I'm going to read something.
I'm trying to think about what I can recommend to you. There's just so many.
But I think we need to do our buddy reads pick anyway.
Yeah, we do.
So. But both these authors are they both South African?
Who's that?
Is Ali Land and Carolyn Kepnes, are they both South African?
No. Ali Land, she's British, and Carolyn Kepnes, let's look her up on Google.
I think I was looking at it. I think it says she was born in Cape Town. Yeah.
It says born 10th of November. She lives in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, United States.
Oh, Cape Cod. Maybe that's what I said.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that would be super interesting.
But I did see that I'm looking at the back of Good Me, Bad Me. And Ali Land has lived in Australia before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now she lives in London.
Yeah, she's really cool, and she's coming onto the podcast at some point. She's just not doing a lot of publicity right now while she's finishing up her second book, which is very exciting for me because I just loved her book so much. So yeah, hopefully she'll come on around. Well, she said she'll let us know like halfway through September when she can have an interview with us.
And Carolyn Kepnes is a murderino.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, apparently she's in the group because someone recommended the book and they were like, and she's a murderino. I was like, oh, that's exciting.
That's good. Yeah, she's constantly on Instagram and stuff and, talks to her fans, and she's a really cool chick.
I love when authors do that.
Yeah, it's just such a nice thing to still be down to earth and realize that you were once there when you loved an author and just desperately wanted to talk to them and just know them. So I like that she's done that.
Yeah, that's one of my mum's favorite stories. Is that when I was little, I read this book by an Australian author that I loved, and I wrote him an email because that was the only mode of communication really other than letter writing back then, and I got like a form response from this author, and like I was so disappointed. So I'm not going to mention who that was, and now when you have people like Karen Slaughter who have take time out of the day and they like repost your photos or they comment and they say thanks for reading, like it's really
I think that
way to appreciate.
I think that they've like authors and artists have realized just how powerful the internet and social media can be for their work to just get out there and what have you been enjoying? Anything else?
I started listening to The Likeness by Tana French on Audible because her books are really big books, so I like to listen to those on Audible when I'm driving.
Your hands get too sore holding them up.
Like Chris Hammer's book.
I was trying to read it. I was outside suntanning on my balcony the other day, and then like I had to switch over onto my stomach, and I was trying to hold the book up to like block the sun out, and I could only last for about like 5 minutes, and then my arm was dead.
Book exercise, right? You can just do some reps with some of the books. But that one's really good. The narrator of that one is really good. I pop that one on as well when I'm trying to fall asleep and wind down. And then I watched on Netflix The Kissing Booth.
Okay.
That's just like a cheesy little teen romantic kind of comedy thing. But when I was sick, I was like, I don't want to really concentrate on it. And that was cute. Like, it had me giggling. And
it's nice to do that when you're sick.
There was some surprising language in that. I always forget, like, because, teen movies of our time, there was, like, nothing really unsavory. And now it's all on Netflix, so you can say whatever you want pretty much. And then Mitch and I started watching Get Shorty on Stan, which is about a hitman who wants to change his life trajectory and he wants to go into producing a movie. And he finds a script and he thinks the script is really good, so he goes to Hollywood and gets a producer, and there's like a whole kind of underworld, and that's pretty good. And other than that, I have been doing a 1,000-piece puzzle with my sister.
Oh, well, that's...
It's a giant Disney stained glass window thing, which is very hard and very, very time-consuming, but fun.
I think I used to like puzzles, but now I just get so irritated by the fact that as soon as you've finished it, then you break the whole bloody thing. And I'm like, no.
Well, on the box, it has that you can buy glue.
Oh, yeah?
So it's a special glue. The brand is called Ravensburger, I think. And there's a special glue that you can just kind of wipe over it.
And then
it bonds the puzzle together, and then you can like frame it.
Oh, okay. I'll have to, because it just like devastates me if I've just spent all that bloody time piecing this shit together, and it looks so pretty.
It took me 6 months.
Well, bloody frame that thing and put it on the wall now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what we want to do, is that when we're finished, we'll frame it and put it somewhere.
That's nice.
Because it's really nice. I'll take a picture of it, and I'll take a picture of the box because we haven't done much of the puzzle.
Not yet.
It's all like stained glass and like gold pieces, so it all.
But it must be in
the box looks very daunting.
It must be a nice activity to do with your sister, like a glass of wine, chat, relax, and just do a puzzle. Like that's sweet.
Nicer than just flicking on the telly all the
time.
Oh,
I can't stand that when people come to visit and all they want to do is watch the TV. I'm just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Get a life.
Although last night we were both sitting on the lounge. I was reading You and she was reading Eleanor Oliphant.
Is she enjoying it?
Yeah, I think she is. She said, I had to put myself to bed.
Lovely. Yeah, I love that book. Okay.
Yeah.
My Boozy Banter, I don't have much because, like I said, I've just been working flat out on this bloody true crime article that I was busy writing. Kiara's read it. Well, you read the first draft.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Made like it. I didn't have to edit that much, I don't think. Just like a few places where...
Yeah, I've edited it a little bit, but...
Yeah.
So Mark got home last night. I made him this beautiful slow-cooked corned beef silverside, and then I got so excited to read it to him, and we lit some candles, poured a glass of wine, went out onto the balcony, and I put like this really creepy music on from YouTube, and then read it to him in the dark with the flickering candles, like really set the scene. And normally when I read my work, like if I'm writing like a novel and I read it to Mark, normally after he's read it, he'll kind of give me like constructive criticism and try and help me out. And what I loved about last night was that after I finished reading, he just kind of like broke into this huge grin and just high-fived me, and he was like, it's perfect for like what I'm going for and who I'm submitting it to. He said that it's perfect because it's got to be in the voice of the company that I'm going for or submitting it to. Yep. So, and he says that I've nailed it. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. But we started watching Safe on Netflix.
Oh,
yeah. Have you watched it?
No, it was one of the ones because we were going through. Because I said to Mitch, we do this every time, is that we go, we have so many shows to watch, and then we never
find one.
Pick anything, and we never remember what. So I was like, we're going to have to write it down. And so I showed him the preview of that one, and I was like, I want to watch this. And he's like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, so Mark thinks that it's a bit too slow-paced for him, and he's not as hooked as I am, but I love it. So it's got the guy Michael C. Hall who plays Dexter. Who I just think he was super gorgeous, but in Safe he's lost a lot of weight and he looks just so different. Obviously, you know, he's aged a lot since Dexter and stuff, but yeah, he just looks too skinny in this movie. Like, I like Dexter because he was a bit chunkier, but anyway. So in this he plays this widowed surgeon called Tom, and he's struggling to raise his 2 daughters alone after his wife's death. I think she died of cancer, and then one day his oldest daughter goes missing, and it's basically all about trying to find her and discovering what happened, and there's a couple of other deaths, and it's so funny because it's really gripping, but there's also so much humor in it because it's British. So it's got that British humor that I just love. And I have had a real struggle not watching it while Mark's at work. Because, yeah, I just so badly just want to continue it. I love it. So highly recommend that one.
That's always my temptation with Game of Thrones because it comes out here on a Monday and I don't work on a Monday and I'm like, I could just watch it and binge it. But I never do.
Yes, yeah, well, we've got to be nice to them. Even though Mark sometimes watches ahead of me when I used to work in a bar and he was home alone at night, he'd just carry on watching. I was like, oi!
That's not fair.
Know. But no, he stopped that now. He's lovely. I should stop complaining about him on the podcast. I love you, Mark.
In Safe, how do you rate Michael C. Hall's accent?
Oh, I think he's done a really good job.
Yep.
I think that he makes a perfect British man. His accent's brilliant. And yeah, I just think it's great. Honestly, I do. I don't...
Because I know that like sometimes it's hard to hear Australian accents done by people that aren't Australian. But I thought, like, when I watched the preview, I thought it sounded pretty good, but obviously I'm not British, so...
I actually asked that question to Mark last night. I was like, geez, like, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast tomorrow, like today, so what do you think? Like, do you like it? And he's like, yeah, it's good. It's just a bit slow-paced for him at first, but now that I think we're like 3 or 4 episodes in now, it's gotten really good. I'm just sad there's only one season. I hope that it continues to come out with another one.
Well, yeah... Because it's Netflix, isn't it? So usually, like, if it does well enough. Because I think, have you ever watched Marcello?
No.
I think I've asked you that before. That's one on Netflix, and the second series of that took forever to come out. I think it's just out. That's a British procedure.
Okay.
With, did you ever watch, the TV show about the pie? Pushing Daisies.
No.
Oh, okay. It's the woman, she's from that. I love her. I think she's gorgeous. I think it's like Anna, I don't know her name. Bloody hell, that's going to bother me. But that's really good. That's a really good British procedural. But it's another one that's a bit slow.
The second movie, it's another thing on Netflix, but just a movie. So we couldn't be bothered to watch another TV show the other night, so we actually sat down and watched a movie. And Mark chose it, and we didn't realise that the whole thing, I don't know if it's, I think it's Korean. So the whole movie was in Korean language. And it had subtitles. And at first I was like, oh, come on, Mark, like, let's put something on that I don't have to read all the time because my eyes were tired. But then, like, a few minutes in, I was just like, yep, sold. Let's just carry on. And we both were just hooked and read the whole subtitles, loved the movie. It's called Train to Busan. And it's set in South Korea and then there's like this is zombie apocalypse that happens on it's just brilliant. Like, so I don't know any of the actors or anything, but I was like, oh god, this is just gonna be some cheapy silly movie subtitled. I wasn't keen whatsoever for it, but I loved it. I thought it was really really good. And there's this little girl that acts with her father. They're going on this train, and then zombies come onto the train, and the whole world is like getting attacked and taken over by zombies and stuff. But this little girl's acting is great, and yeah, like I was just surprised how good it was.
I haven't heard of that one.
If you like films that are in other languages and stuff, then I really would recommend it.
Yeah. I watch anything.
Yeah, it's just entertaining. It's like, you know, The Walking Dead kind of a thing. Just the Korean version. So yeah, that's pretty much it because I haven't been reading books. I've just been writing. But I am hoping to get back into some reading soon. I've got a few appointments and interviews next week for some jobs, but I am still keeping my fingers very tightly crossed for this writing gig. So... yeah, that's all from my side.
Nice.
I think that wraps up this episode. Do we have anything else we want to say about buddy reads or?
So I think that we will put up a post. It'll probably already be up by the time this episode comes out. But we will do a new buddy read.
And you can
so
vote.
I think we're just finalising our choice, and you guys can vote and read along with us. We have a hashtag, which is Books Booze Buddy Read. And also just tag us and let us know what you're reading, because we love to see what everyone's reading, and if you've picked anything up on our recommendations, we like to hear that too.
And we also love your feedback about our podcast. We've gotten some great feedback from you, and we've actually made it to the top 200 on iTunes.
Yeah, that was really exciting. The girl from SSR Pod, which I love. I don't know if you've listened to it yet, if you've had a chance to, but she's really sweet. And she had posted that she was in the top 200, and so I sent her a message like, "Congratulations!" And she sent back and she's like, "Congratulations, you!" And then she was 194 and we were 195. So that's very exciting.
And that's all made possible by the guys that download and listen to us, and that's why we love you guys so much, and thank you for all of your support.
Yes, thank you very much.
So you can find me on social media under @boho_bookworm, boho_bookworm, and our podcast is @booksboozepod on Instagram. We also have a Twitter called booksboozepod, and Chiara, you are under bookish.kiki on Instagram?
Yeah. Yes, that's
perfect. Me. So there are our handles. Show us some support and some love, and just remember we've got Patreon. Every little tiny bit helps. So one day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I promise I'm not begging. Yeah. All right. So we will talk to you next time.
Goodbye. Bye.